This
I'm
conference
just
will
recording
now
this
be
session.
recorded.
So let me meanwhile open my Python. See, just go to start button and you can just type it as Jupyter, Jupyt, Jupyter notebook. So this is one way to open your Jupyter notebook, or else just go to this and again type it as Anaconda Navigator. See, Anaconda Navigator is there. Directly double click on this. Either you can open through Jupyter notebook or you can open through Anaconda Navigator. Anaconda Navigator. So let us wait until your Jupyter notebook opens and your Anaconda Navigator opens. See here, Jupyter notebook is starting. So Jupyter notebook is starting. So it will open, Rahul. Try, give it a try, or else uninstall and install it once again. It will open. It will take time for the first time. See, so if you just type it as Jupyter notebook, it will open in this way. So you should not close this. If you close this, your Jupyter notebook will never work. So remember that always this Jupyter notebook will be like this. So this is your Jupyter notebook. So now coming to, after opening this, see, this is your desktop documents download. This is your system data. This is your system data. And this is your, click on this button called as new. Click on this button called as new Python 3. Python 3. So it will try to open a page like this, localhost. See, it is connecting. It is connecting. So Jupyter, see here, Jupyter untitled 10. So this is the file name wherein you can put it as, let me put it as basic stats. Basic stats August batch. Okay. So I'll just click it, give it as rename. I'll just give it as rename. And this, see, this is a yeah, you can either use Anaconda or Jupyter Navigator. See, if you open this Jupyter Anaconda Navigator, you will be getting like this. Here you need to click on again launch. If you click on this Jupyter Notebook launch, again you will be able to open the same page like this. Similar to this, you'll be opening one more page. That is the difference. Either you can directly type it as Jupyter Notebook, or else you can go to this Anaconda Navigator and you can open this, click on this Jupyter Notebook as launch. If you click on this, again it will try to open the same page. So ultimately your page will be like this. Ultimately you'll be opening the same page like this. So now coming to this point here, this part, whatever you want, you can type it. This part is called as cell. This part is called as cell. For example, simple 1 plus 1. So let me write it. So 1 plus 1 is nothing but 2. So in order to run this, either you can click on this, or you can just click on shift enter. If you click on shift enter, it is run. See, 2 minus 3, shift enter minus 1, or else I'll put it as 3 into 5. 3 5 is a 15. I'll just click on this button called as run button. See, 3 5 is a 15. So this particular type, or this particular box where you're typing your algorithm is called as
Cell.
Cell. Yes, it is called as your cell. So remember that. Now consider that. See, the color changes here. Concentrate here. The color changes. Now it is green color. Please observe this color. If it is in green color, it is in your typing mode. Means you can type whatever you want here. If you type it as escape button, it is in blue color. It is non-editable mode. If you click enter, it comes to green. That is called as editable mode. Editable mode. Okay. What, Bhupendra?
Hi, hi Yogesh, this is Rajiv.
Yes.
Yogesh, I have one doubt. What is the difference between Python 2 and Python 3 when it comes to data science?
It is a version. That's it. There is nothing
Okay,
like that.
so I can whatever I can do in Python 3 can be done achievable in a Python 2, right?
No, Python 2.7 is the older version. Whatever you can do it in 2.7, you can do it in 3, but not whatever you can do it in 3, you cannot do it in 2.7. See, it is your latest version. That's it.
Okay.
Hey, Yogesh, Bhupendra here.
Yes. Who is this?
Yeah, looks like you ran Bhupendra.
Yeah, Bhupender,
Looks
tell
like
me.
you ran some code and it's pointing to this URL. What is this
I
thing
did not
for?
run some.
Looks
I
like
did
you
not
ran
run
some
some.
code or what?
No, no, I did not run some code. So you joined late. You joined late, Bhupendra. Please be
Just
on
now I
time.
joined.
Yeah, that is
Sorry,
the
just
reason.
now I came stuck on
See,
traffic.
this is your Python Jupyter notebook. See, just type it as Jupyter notebook like this. Go to start button and type Jupyter notebook. You'll be able to see that. Double click on this and you'll be able to see this page.
Mhm.
First page is home page. First page is home page.
Okay.
After this, you need to click on this new button and click on Python 3. Python 3, and then
Three.
your this page appears. This page appears and you can change your name here. Whatever the name you want, you can change it and you can click on rename. And this part is called as cell. Whatever you are typing, this part is called as cell, and the output will be displayed below this cell. Output will be displayed below this cell. And coming to this, you can see that one is green color and another one is blue color. So if it is in blue color, it says that it is non-editable mode. You cannot edit here. If you want to edit it, you should just enter, type it as enter, it will become green color. So now you can do your addition or whatever, you can write it in that particular cell.
Yogesh, I think same thing can be done in the Anaconda as well, right? The tool.
Bala, this is Anaconda Navigator, right? So if you
Yeah.
open Anaconda Navigator, from here, if you click on a launch button, again it will point to the same page. Again, it will come
Okay.
to
Okay.
this home page, and again you can click on this Python 3, and again it will be same page. See, ultimately you
Okay.
can open Jupyter in two ways. That's it.
Okay.
Nothing
Okay.
else.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thanks.
Okay. Now coming to this. Now consider that you want to add some cell. You want to add some cell below this cell. See, consider this. There is a cell here. There is a cell here. One sec. See, there is a cell here. I want to add one cell below this. If I want to add a below this, I need to click on. See, it should be in blue color. It should be in non-editable mode. And if you click A, it will add a cell above this. It will add a cell above this. So if you type it as A, it will add a cell above this. Now consider that I want to add a cell below this. Now I'm in this line and I want to add a cell below this, and it should be in blue color, that is non-editable mode. And if you click on B, B means below, it will add a new line. Or else, let me just show with respect to this. See, it is in blue color at non-editable mode. If I click on B, it will try to add a cell below this current cell. Now I want to delete this cell. I want to delete this cell. Again, you need to be in non-editable mode. Type it as double D. D, D. If you type it as double D, it will delete the current cell. See, D, 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 D. If you want to add a below cell, you need to type it as B. If you want to add the cell above, you need to type it as A. And before typing, it should be in non-editable mode. Non-editable mode is identified by blue color. Editable mode is been identified by green color. Okay, now either you can click on this button as well. See, if you want to move down, you can click on this button. It is up to you. It is up to you. But I'm showing with respect to the keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts. So now coming to, you want to write some, you want to write some titles, headlines, sub-headlines. For that, what you need to do is you need to choose markdown. You need to choose markdown, and instead of typing it as 1+1, I want to write it as data science basics. Data science basics. Okay, so if you use single hash, it is called as headline, bigger line, headline, for example, like this. So below this, I'll also use double hash. I'll show you after writing all these 3 lines, and then you can identify the difference. So data science basics, Python basics, Python basics. Next line, I'm going to write it as 3 hash. I'll write it as August batch. August batch. See, now if I run this, control enter, I'll come to that point, Ratnesh. I'll come to that point, Ratnesh. Okay. So this is something like your headlines, this is sub headlines, and this is your small title. So if you want to write the coding documentation, you can write it in this way, but while writing, you should change it to markdown. Yes, it is something like a static heading. You can call it as static heading that you need to use markdown. And if you want to write the code like this, 2 minus 3 or a is equal to 1, let me write it in this way. A is equal to 1. I want to assign a as 1. So now you can see that a is been assigned with a value called as 1. If I run a, you'll be able to see that it will be 1. It is 1. So I want to write b is equal to 2. B is equal to 2, and I'm going to run this. Now if I run b, it is simple. Control enter, b is 2. B is 2. Now I want to calculate c is equal to a plus b. C is equal to a plus b. C is equal to a plus b. It is, now the answer of c can be displayed as just c. Just c. So a is equal to 1, I have assigned. B is equal to 2, I have assigned. C is equal to a plus b, I have done. I have just written separate lines. Is it clear for everyone? Is it clear for everyone? Rakesh, Manju,
How to run?
Bhupendra.
What is the how to run that C? Enter.
How to run this? I told you, right? Shift enter. Either you can click on
Shift
this line,
enter.
this button. Yeah, shift enter. In your R Studio, it is control enter, right? Similar to that, in your Jupyter Notebook, it is control enter. Control enter.
Shift enter.
Yeah, here it is shift enter. Whereas in your R Studio, it is control enter. Okay. Now, so now let me just go to this. So what will be the answer of this one? What will be the answer of this one? If I run this, it is 5 raised to the power of 4. It will never be 5 4s are 20. Lahari, it will not be 5 4s are 20. I'm not using single star, I'm using double star. So it is 5 raised to the power of 4. 5 5s are 25. 25 5s are 125. 125 5s are 625. 125 5s are 625. That is not 125. So it is nothing but it will be written as 5 raised to the power of 4. Let me just write it down. So this says that it is 5 raised to the power of 4. So 5 into 5 into 5 into 5. 5 5s are 25, 25 5s are 125, 125 5s are 625, like this. So these are your mathematical operations. See, whatever you want, you can do it as a calculator here. You can do it as a calculator. So now, you know how to assign it, how to use it as a calculator, everything is done. So now, so let us try to understand how to import your data set, how to import your data set from external sources, that is from your local system. So I'm going to see in your R Studio, you used to install a packages, right? How do you install packages in your R Studio? You need to go to tools. You need to click on install packages. When it comes to your Jupyter Python notebook, you need to write it as import function, import keyword, and yes, you have to import your libraries. Yeah, while importing, you should write it as import keyword and some of the library names. Some of the library names I'll tell you. So I'll write some. Yes, import library name as PD. So this pandas is called as your library name. Import pandas as PD, which is used for data analysis. You can call it as data cleansing, slicing, dicing, data munging, whatever you can call it as. So that library will be available under a package called as pandas. Under a package called as pandas. So what is this as PD? What is this as PD? Yes, it is nothing but your, every time you cannot write it as pandas. So you are giving a small name or alias name by using as function and you are assigning it to PD. You can directly use instead of pandas, every time you can use it as PD. That's it. Clear?
Yogesh, what is pandas in R? R
Pandas in
any?
R. No.
No,
See,
no.
pandas is different, and in R it is different. See, in R, as I told you, right? In R there is a base packages. Like here, if you want to do some pandas with respect to packages, it is called as your library. In your here it is called as library, and there it is called as packages. That's it. See, there is no relationship between your R and Python.
Okay.
Okay, now import pandas as PD, and I also try to import some other libraries like your, I told you some of the base packages in your R, right? Like mass E1071 and something like that. So here also there are some standard libraries, so we'll try to import all those things in a first go. So import numpy, numeric python as np. I'll write it as import numpy as np. This is another library. Import pandas as PD, import numpy as np. So I'm going to run this cell. By using a keyboard shortcut called as what? Shift enter. Or I can use this button. Yes. See, why I'm asking you this type of questions is you need to understand control enter, shift enter. Every time you cannot go on run. So make sure that you use shortcut keys. Shift enter. So now let me try to
So,
import a file. Yes.
yeah, Yogesh, this pandas libraries we importing. So, I mean, what is the use for this library? Any idea? And the numpy and all.
I told you, right? Like, so numeric functions, see some of the base functions like mean, median, mode, you can use it with respect to your
Okay.
numpy and pandas. Some supports mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, all these things can be done using these pandas and numpy. These are the base packages or the base
Okay.
libraries in
This
your
is
Python.
so
For
this is a
data science,
required now.
yeah, this is required. For data science in Python, these two are something like heart and soul. Heart and soul you need to have.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Sure. Thank you.
Okay, please be on mute, guys. So now, so I want to import a package now. I want to import a package. So now coming to this point.
Import library or package?
Yeah.
Import library, no?
Import?
Import library or package?
See, in your R it is called as package. In your Python it is called as library. Either you can call it as library or package. It is up to you. It's up to you. And one more thing, I want to get it clarified for you all. And this program, what we are studying is, this is not core developer training. It is not a developer training. Neither it is R developer nor Python developer job. This is what we are doing is data science with machine learning. Please remember this. Please remember this before asking your question. This is not a core developer like R developer or Python developer. So whatever we are going to teach is with respect to data science with ML. Data science with ML. So now I'm going to import a data file. That is your data set. For example, let me use a variable called as x. Let me use a variable called as x is equal to pd dot read underscore csv. Read underscore csv open parenthesis. pd dot read underscore csv. What do you mean by pd? Can anyone tell me what is pd? Before asking,
Panda.
yes, it is yes, pandas, because I've assigned as import pandas as pd. So this read underscore csv function is a part of read underscore csv is a function of part of
Panda.
yes.
This module.
Now let me try to take some data set. Let me try to take some data set from my local system wherever I have saved some Excel file. Some Excel file, I'll try to take it.
I think CSV, right?
Yeah. pd dot read underscore csv.
Okay. Because okay, if it is a txt, pd dot read underscore txt or something like we have
txt you
function.
can write. Yes, you can write it.
Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks.
So is that a file that is present, or what exactly is that?
What?
Read underscore CSV.
This is just a function to import your CSV file. In your RStudio, I wrote it, right? Read.csv. Similar to that. Rakesh. It is a function to import your CSV file from your local system.
Okay, but how to, I mean, we have not mentioned the CSV file.
See, I have to mention the path here. I have to mention the path inside this.
Okay.
Yes.
Every time I need to take PD for reading files and all.
See, this read underscore CSV package is a part of your pandas library. So that is the reason I have declared here import pandas as PD. Every time you should write it as pd.read underscore CSV.
Okay, whenever we want to download any file, I need to write.
Yes. It's not a download, you are importing. It's not download. Okay, so let me just take some data sets from my system. So I'll go for Sky. Let me just choose some assignments. So let me just choose some file. So let me just choose this data set called as cars. Let me just choose this data set called as cars. So here I'm going to paste the path. Here I'm going to paste the path, and I'm going to write it as file name dot cars dot csv. So cars, it is in your C is in your caps, and dot csv. and I need to change this to either one single slash or two backward slash. So let me just put it as two backward slash itself. So will it work? Will it work is my question. If I run this line of code, will it work? Yes or
The
no?
codes, I think single code, double quotes. I should work.
Single quote, double quotes, I've written correctly, right? Double quotes I've
Yeah,
written.
correct.
So let me run this line of code. Let me run this line of code. What is the error here?
X is not defined. Yeah, variable
X
is
is
not
not
defined.
defined, but see, I'm writing it as with respect to X only, right? I'm assigning this variable, this particular file called as cars.csv by
Is
reading
not
from
easy.
read underscore.
Is not is equal. It should be is equal.
Yeah,
Equal
yes,
to.
because this is in your R Studio, right? This is in your R Studio. Now it is, we are using Python. You should write it as X is equal to pd dot read underscore csv. Got it? Got the difference? In your R Studio, the best practice is to use less than symbol and hyphen. But when it comes to your Python, you should use equal to. You should use equal to. Remember that. So now we have read this data set. Now we have read this data set called as cars. Now you want to see what is there in your X. Just type it as X. Click on enter. See, this is the data set I've used. Some random data set I've chosen. This is the data set. Got it? You're able to visualize your data. So what I'll do is, I don't want to see all the data. I want to see just top 5 records. For that, I'm going to use a function called as head. X.head will take by default only 5 records will be displayed. Only 5 records will be displayed. See here. X.head will only display first 5 records. Top 5 records 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, obviously 5 records from top. And one more thing, important thing is, don't ask illogical questions, please. I'm telling 5 top records, because illogical questions itself, we are wasting more number of time with respect to time. So now I want to display last 5 rows. X dot tail. See, I'm having somewhere some records. So last 5 records have been displayed by 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. So I'm having 80 records. Out of that 81 records or 80 records, last 5 records, X dot tail function and X dot head function is being displayed with respect to top 5 records. With respect to top 5 records. So now coming to very important part, that is your first moment business decision. First moment business decision. Mean. So let me just start from mean. Can we take some other count than 5? Yes, if you want, you can change it to, instead of 5, you can take it as 12. See, instead of 5, by default it will take it as 5, but if I specify within parenthesis 12 or 10, whatever it is, it will take. With respect to C here, I'm going to specify head of 3, means it will display only 3 records. Got the difference? By default it is 5, and if you want to change it, you can change it according to your requirement. Okay, let me just put it as default. Let me just put it as default. Now coming to your first moment business decision. What is your first moment business decision? Mean, right? Mean, median, mode. So let us try to do that mean, median, mode now. So what is the function to calculate your mean? Yes, mean is a mean. So here you need to specify the syntax here slightly changes. Here the syntax slightly changes. That is your RStudio. And now we are dealing with respect to Python. You should give it as X dataset name, square parenthesis. In single quote, you should give your column name. In single quote, you should give your column name. I'll choose it as volume. I'll choose it as volume. Volume is my column and X is my dataset name. See, X volume dot mean function. If I run this, I'm going to get volume columns average. Volume columns average. X is nothing but your dataset name. Volume is nothing but your column name. Dot mean is a function. Mean is a function. Now, see, as and how I write the functions, please write it down. I'll be sharing this, but make sure that you write it in your own words also. Mean, simple. Only one format, you can just write it as mean formula or mean function to calculate in your Python. That's it. Now, X, square parenthesis, volume. So volume, it is case sensitive. You should use capital only. You should use whatever the column names you have specified. Same. So volume dot median. Mean median. So I'll run this median. So the median is 101. The median is 101. So next is your mode. Next is your mode. When it comes to your we'll see all those things. I'll also take all those things with respect to some of the other classes, Bhupendra. Please wait. I'll also take some basics of Python one day. I'll show you that part. Wait, see whatever I'm showing, please learn that. So now coming to your mode. So same X dataset name, comma, I'll not, okay, I'll take it as HP now. HP column dot mode. Mode is a function in your Python. Mode is a function in your Python. So I'll write it like this. See, mode is having 0 and 92. Means 0 and 92, it is not 0 and 92, it is just 92. It is just 92. So the number 92 in your HP column is more number of times. That is your mode. So directly in your Python, you have a function called as mode, mean, median. But when it comes to your R, you don't have direct function. You need to write your own user-defined function. You need to use your own user-defined function.
Yogesh, I think that below whatever the display, right, data type.
Yeah,
the data type it is.
Yeah, it will be showing it as integer. I'll take you this separate class, Bala, how to create your integer, float, tuples, what is list, what is all these things. I'll show you one day.
No,
tuples
my question is
means
okay. No,
yeah, this is
why
your,
I ask it, why we are expected only more, right? We are not expected. Maybe user don't want to see that. Is it any settings or something?
Okay, if user don't want to see that thing, so you need to just put it into a variable. So in this case, you can do it in this way. I'll show you that.
Okay.
There's an option.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, thanks.
If you don't want to see that, there's an option.
You can define with the print, I think that one.
Yes. Yeah, print of A I can give. Print of A. but I'll show you that as a separate this thing. So now coming to the next is your standard deviation, variance, range. So same X, I'll take it as SP now, SP column. SP column. What is the function to calculate your variance? It is var. It is var. If I run this, I'm going to get 201. 201 is the variance of your SP column. So var is a function. When it comes to standard deviation, so when it comes to Python, what is the function to calculate your standard deviation in your RStudio, R programming? Standard deviation in R programming is my question. Yes, it is SD. It is SD, but when it comes to your Python, it is STD. Standard deviation. When it comes to Python, it is STD. See here, STD is obtained. See, whenever I'm giving you 30 seconds break or 40 seconds break, it doesn't mean that I'm wasting my time. I'm just making sure that you note down these functions. That's it, nothing else. So standard deviation variance is done. Now you want to calculate the range. You want to calculate the range. What is the range formula?
Max
Range
minus
formula
min.
is nothing but your maximum minus minimum. So maximum minus minimum. So now there is a function. What is the function to calculate your maximum? What could be the function to calculate your maximum?
Max.
Let me just use HP. HP dot max. HP dot max. See, in your HP column, the maximum number is 322. The maximum number is 322. So like this, you can use your minimum function. So what is the minimum function? It is X HP column dot minimum. This is your data. This is your data. If you are getting row number, what is the use of doing analysis, Bhupendra? It is, see, I told you that is the reason you should have common sense before asking the question. I'm telling you again and again, because if you're not learning now, you'll never learn in your lifetime. Remember that. If you're getting row number, what does this indicate? Then what is the use of using Python? Remember that. So for minimum, there is a function called as min. If you run that, you're going to get minimum value in your X column. Minimum value in your HP column from your data set called as X. Now I want to calculate range. So what I'll do is I can write it as like this. Range is equal to, I can write max minus minimum X of, I can put it into different variable, or else I can also write it directly as HP dot max function minus X of HP dot main function. HP dot main function.
No, the single quotes is
Okay,
HP single.
fine. Yeah, fine. See, now I've run this range. So now I want to see what is the range of this. You can write it here, or else you can also write it in this same line itself, or your variable name. So if I run this, I'm going to get the range between 322 minus how much it is? Maximum minus
Oh, yeah.
minimum. 322 minus 49 is 273. So that has been displayed by your range. That is your maximum minus minimum function. Maximum minus minimum. So now next is your skewness and kurtosis. Skewness and kurtosis. Let us try to calculate your skewness and kurtosis. X of HP dot skew. Skew is a function in your Python. Directly you can use skew. So let me just copy this. Once again, I'll not type it as skew. I'll just type it as kurt like that. 1.716. Okay, skewness you have calculated. This indicates that it is your positive skewed. Positive skewed. So similarly, I want to calculate your kurtosis. So for kurtosis, there is a function called as kurt. K-U-R-T. K-U-R-T. And if I run that, I'm going to get my kurtosis function. I'm going to get my kurtosis value, that is 2.96.
Okay, Yogesh.
Yeah.
Actually, kurtosis, the way you defined was, it is identified by peak, right?
Yeah, it is identified by peak, means it will be like this.
Okay. Okay.
Thin peak.
So
And
this
if it is
value,
negative, means it will be like this.
yeah. So this value now, how do I know if it is a, positive, uh, good
Obviously,
or?
there is no sign, right? There is no sign. If it is negative
So
symbol, it
that's
will
it.
display as negative. That's it. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay.
If it is minus 2.15, it indicates that it is negative kurtosis. If it is plus 2.5, it indicates that it is positive kurtosis.
Same holds
Nothing.
for skew as well.
Yes, everything it is same. Skewness also same. Kurtosis also same.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So now next is your histogram. So histogram, bar plot, box plot. So we'll try to plot your histogram now. So coming to that histogram or bar plot, there is some other packages you need to install. You need to install some other packages. So the package name what I am going to import is called as matplotlib. Matplotlib. Import matplotlib dot pyplot dot pyplot. Sorry, you can use pyplot or pylab. Let me use it as pylab or pyplot also. I'll use it as plt. There are multiple. You can use it as pyplot or pylab as well. Yes, it is matplotlib. Okay, fine. I've typed it as lib. Sorry, matplotlib. Matplotlib.pylab as plt. Spelling mistake. Sorry. Matplotlib. It is not lib. Matplotlib. Now coming to this, I'm going to run this and I'm going to the next line. I'm going to the next line. So I'm going to build now histogram. So let me try to build my histogram. So I'm going to use PLT. What is this PLT? It is nothing but short name for your matplotlib.pylab. So PLT dot function name is hist, hist, open parenthesis, file name is x. X
dot column.
plt.x ist and x is your file name, and again you need to specify the column name what you want to plot. That is your column name. So after running this, you also need to write plt.show, plt.show, so that display, so that the histogram has to be displayed. So you need to use a function called as plt.show. Plt is nothing but your matplotlib.pylab shortcut. Short name is plt, and dot show is a function. Show is a function. Let me run this. Let me run this. See, once I run this, you'll be able to see your histogram. You'll be able to see your histogram. So based on this histogram, so did we get negative kurtosis or positive kurtosis?
Positive.
HP. Sorry, skewness and kurtosis both.
Skewness is sorry, kurtosis
See,
is
here
a
skewness
positive.
is 1.716. Kurtosis is also positive, right? Both are positive, right?
It's not left, right side. Right side is a positive.
Yeah, it is positive kurtosis, right? Positive kurtosis and also positive skewness. So if it is like this, it is called as negative, right? So it is positive skewness now. It is positive skewness. So now next is your which plot? Which plot next shall we go for?
Box plot.
Bar plot. So let us go for bar plot. Let us go for bar plot. Bar plot is not that easy. Slightly it is not that easy in the sense you should understand what is your bar plot. So in your bar plot, it will be like this. So your bar plot will be like this. First student score, second student score, third student score, fourth student score, or height of a person. So consider this. This is Kushal, this is Ratnesh, this is Bhupendra, and this is Neha, and this is Ranjini. Okay, and their height, 5 feet, 5.5 feet, 6 feet, 6.5 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet. So this is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. X-axis is your data part. X-axis is your data and y-axis is your how much have you scored, or
Height.
what is your height, or whatever it is. How much have you scored, or how much is your salary, or how much is your height, whatever it can be. So for this, I need to write it my code in this way. My code in this particular format. I'm going to give it as index. I'm going to just you can give it as anything. So let me just give it as index. Index is equal to what is NP? What is NP?
Num, num,
It
numpy.
is not null, it is numpy. It is numpy, shortcut for your numerical Python numpy, numeric Python. So NP dot, I'm going to arrange my records. Totally how many records I have in my data set? I'm having
184.
some 81 records or something, 81 records. I'll show you that as well. Oh, sorry. I should type the number. NP dot arrange, give the number. NumPy has no attribute arrange. Yes, it okay, sorry. np.arrange 81 reads. See, this 81 records needs to be arranged and it should be stored in a variable called as index. It should be stored in a variable called as index. You can give it as anything. So what is this index will have now? If you run this index, it will show
0.
all the 81 records. 0th position, first position, second position, third position. This is in your array type. This is your arranging as an array. 0th position, first position, second position, third position, fourth position, like this. Now, coming to the next line, I'm going to write it in the same cell below this. Below this, the bar plot functions. The bar plot functions. PLT. What is PLT?
Plot.
Plot. Matplotlib. Matplotlib dot pyplot or pylabs function. I've declared it as PLT. PLT dot bar. PLT dot bar. Yes. PLT dot bar open parenthesis. Open parenthesis. You should specify what should be your height.
X and Y.
Height, that is your y-axis, and this is your x-axis. So what should be your height now? What you want in your height? Sorry, what you want on your y-axis? So let me plot my HP column. Let me plot my HP column. Okay, so that is nothing but your column name. Column name. So let me just type it as height is equal to dataset name is x. Dataset name is x. Square parenthesis. Within quote, I need to mention my HP column name or volume column name or whichever the column name I want. And comma, and your index should be on your left hand side. Index should be on your left hand side. So I'm writing with respect to this one, and this is your, all the 81 records will be on your left hand side. All the 81 records to be on your this side, and this is the HP values. So 0, 1, 2, 3, or all these things. So this next, what I'm going to give after this comma is nothing but your data on your x-axis. So data, that is nothing but your left is equal to index part. I'm writing it as left is equal to index. So what is this index? What is this index?
Range.
Yes, the range of total of your total number of records. So totally you are having how much? 80 records. 80?
Why?
81, right? 81,
Yeah,
right?
81. Yeah, 81 because
81
here it
records.
says start from 0, right?
So the left is the left is nothing but the y-axis, right?
X-axis.
No, left is nothing but
See, left is nothing but your this one 81 records will be plotted on your x-axis, and this is your height. This is your height.
the left means is a variable or something like any.
Yeah, this is your variable.
I think there is a right actually.
See, this is your height. This is, I'm talking about, this one is your height. Whatever the values you are having in your HP, right? That one you will be getting it on your y-axis.
Okay.
Yeah, left is equal to x. Left is equal to x is nothing but your index. Whatever I have stored it in your x, that is your x-axis, and this is your y-axis. So let me just try to plot it, and you will only see the difference, what it is. You will only see the difference, what it is. So now, height is not a variable. Height is your, this one, y-axis. Height I am giving with respect to my HP columns, whatever the HP values I have. So this should be plotted on your y-axis. That is the reason I'm giving it as height. So let me just try to plot it. You'll only understand. You'll only understand what it is. So plt dot show. So if I run this plt dot show function, your bar plot will be plotted. See, now you can see what is it? What is your x-axis? What is your y-axis? Can you tell me? It is simple, Neha. I have written it as total number of records. I have arranged it as a range part that is in your variable called as index. Plt dot bar is a function to plot your bar plot. Plt dot bar, and this plt is nothing but your library name or a package name, and this bar is a function, and I have specified height. What should be my height? And this height should be taken from my HP column. So height should be taken from my HP column, that is this. And left is nothing but your x-axis. So how many records I have? That is your index. Totally I am having 81 records that will be plotted on my x-axis. Simple it is. So if I want to tell in this way, it is your student. Okay, student 1 until 10 students. I'm having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 students, and their marks and their marks are 80%, 25%.
Is height is an assignment? Something the name you have given just like that, or any
Yeah,
function?
I am telling you that only. This is just a name. Height is nothing but your default parameter. So marks is 35%, 45%, like this. Students have scored between 10% to 100%. Students have scored. Now I want to plot this bar plot on your x-axis and y-axis. So I'm specifying it as bar function. Height is equal to, what should be height here?
Mark.
Which one should be your height? Yes, your mark should be on your y-axis. Your mark should be on your y-axis, and first student, second student, third student, fourth student, fifth student, 10th student should be on your x-axis. That is nothing but your index, x-axis. That is what I've written. Index is equal to np dot arrange of 81 records. And now if I plot this, now you're going to get student 1, how much he has scored. Student 1 has scored 30%, student 4 has scored 80%, student 10 has scored 90%, like this. Got it?
Yeah, you
Yogesh,
got it.
what is
Just confused with the height and left. Actually, Yogesh, now is clear. This height you change it to the right and left, and the left you change rename to right. Then it be clear.
Here I want to change it to left.
No, I just make it as a right. This one make it as a
You
right.
want to
Actually,
change it as right? You want to write it
yeah,
as right?
No, this one should be left and this one reverse side. Left and right.
One sec. You mean to say instead
It
of
is left.
writing?
Yeah, left.
That is
you
not
just-
a left. That you can put your name also. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
That is
it's
just
okay,
a
no
string.
problem.
Yeah.
That one, if you put it as your name, will it work?
Yeah, it will work. It's the same one. It's a variable only, no? But
Tell me, you should tell me.
But it comes. It is a part of the bar function, I think.
It is a part of your bar function. It is a part of your bar function. It will never be an this thing. So this is a part of your bar function. See, if I give name, it will never work because you are writing inside a function, Bala. Because you're writing inside a function, so you can see that bar name, bar missing one required positional argument height. You can see here. Bala, got it?
Even left
what is
also the
it?
bar function.
Yes, left also it is a default. So this is the
Okay.
default parameters you should specify. So I cannot change it. I cannot change it. So instead of left, I'll write it as right. Simply like this, right, RIGHT. Okay. That will again throw error because missing one required positional argument is left. Nothing else.
So left is default. You need to use that.
Left and height is default. Left and height is default.
So that's the syntax
Left means,
probably.
yeah, left means it is your x-axis, height means it is your y-axis. That's it. So simple.
So Yogesh, just one question just to make it clear. So bar is a function which has this line of code, height equal
two
to
parameters.
x, two parameters. It's nothing but x and x2, right?
See, simple way I'll write it as bar, okay, y comma x. Bar is nothing but y comma x.
So this y having x. Okay. Understood.
Height of x. Okay. Y
and
x is nothing but your
left side.
Left side.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
So bar
Simple.
function having two parameters.
Yes, you
And
can have multiple
parameter
See, you can have multiple parameters, but this is the default parameters you should use because you'll be able to see each and every student's score. So consider that this is your 18 first student, last student. score is somewhere around 240 or 230, whatever it is, like this.
So in this function, bar plot is has only two variables which has to be visible, x-axis and y-axis. That's why
Yes,
it's taking two parameters.
obvious. Yes, it is obvious, right? In your bar plot, you'll not be able to see anything. This is your default parameter.
Yogesh, do we need to specify the number of occurrence in the data set? I mean, the number of records. Yeah, that one.
Yes, you need to specify, Bala.
I don't know. Then how can I see?
I'll show you.
I don't know.
Show you that as well. No, I'll show you that as well.
Okay, and one more thing. Are we giving any hint that okay, that file it has to take? I hope that NP the we are not specified which file we have to take, right?
Where?
Getting my question? No, that
Yeah,
81.
you mean to say
Whatever the 81.
for this one, you're not specifying anything, right? So
Yeah,
this
any
is something
name.
like no, you're not specifying any name. I'm just using it as 81 records. I'm just using it as 81 records because I know in my file there are 81 records. That is the reason.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking. We are not specified any file. So suppose if you have a file, okay, then we have different syntax
I'll
might
show
be, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thanks.
I'll show you that as a part of coding part.
Suppose if you have the 1,000 records, you have to mention orange as 1,000 or
yes, you need to have whatever the records you have in your data set. You should mention that.
orange. Okay.
Yes. Now, coming to bar plot, this is how you need to write your bar plot. So let me just run it. Bar plot. So now coming to next. So I'll just remove this index. Okay. Now, what is next plot? We have seen one more plot. What is that? What is that one more plot? Histogram is done. Bar plot is done. Box plot, right? Hope you remember box plot.
Yeah.
So what is the function for your box plot in your RStudio?
First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter.
No, I'm asking you the function. It is box plot, right? It is box plot. So in your Python, it is box plot. In your Python also, it is box plot, and it is under a package called as, or a library called as matplotlib.pyplot or pylab. So plt.boxplot, and what is your file name? What we are using? X, and the column name is, I'll take it as HP. Column name is HP, and I'm going to give, just with respect to this one, I'm going to run it. As if I run this, see, I'm not getting anything, but I need to run this plt.show, plot.show. So it will display your box plot. Now, this is your vertical box plot. I want to make it horizontal like this. Then what should I do? Try, give it a try. Can you write the syntax? Ram Shiva, can you write the syntax? /h, where it is? Last. You mean to say here? /h. Is it correct, Ram Shiva? Name h is not defined. Out of bracket. Okay, you mean to say out of bracket, I need to write like this. So let me run this. Name h is not defined. Anyone has any other answer?
Dot horizontal.
Or
any parameter like any dot.
dot comma horizontal. Horizontal equal to true.
True.
Works plot got an unexpected keyword argument called as horizontal. Yes, vert is equal to false. Yes, it is your, you should give it as vert is equal to false. So vert is equal to false. So now if I run this, I'm going to get vert is equal to true. I have specified vert is equal to true, but if I change it to false, I'm going to plot false is nothing but your horizontal box plot. Vert is equal to false. By if you don't use this vert is equal to false or true, by default it will plot your horizontal, not sorry, vertical, not horizontal box plot. Write down this.
Just repeat that, Yogesh, sentence.
This one. See, if you don't use this vert is equal to false, by default it will plot your vertical box plot. If you use this vert is equal to false, it will plot your horizontal box plot. That's it.
Yogesh, yesterday you were asking regarding the outlier.
Yes, I'll ask. Today I'll ask. I want. Okay, see, first let me finish this Jupyter basics of that, then I'll jump into that. So note down this functions. Okay, now you have written everything, box plot, bar plot, everything you have done, skewness, kurtosses, everything. You want to save it. You have already given the name, it will be saved. But if you want to download, go to this file and click on download as. You can click on this download as IPython notebook. If you download it as IPYNB, you can open it in Jupyter notebook. See, let me just click it. See, do you want to open or save? Let me just save. So it will show in your open folder. It will display in your downloads section. See, basic stats august.pynb IPython notebook. Python notebook. Suppose you want to download it as Jupyter Spider notebook, Spider file. So you can click on this python.py version. Open folder. See, you'll be able to see this is your Python file. Last one, you can see the extension type of file. This is your Python file. This is your IPython notebook. Now I'll show you how to open your Spider. So just go to your Anaconda Navigator. Click on this Spider launch. This is one way to open your Spider. Just click on this launch. I've already opened it. So let me see.
Yogesh,
Yeah.
this Jupyter will work only on the browser base only.
Yeah. Jupyter.
Jupyter will open on the browser only.
Yes, you can see this. Web-based means what? Web-based interactive computing notebook environment, edit and run human readable documents while describing the data analysis. See, this is your scientific Python development environment, powerful Python IDE, and this is called as your web-based interactive computing notebook. Web-based means it is your web page type. So now I have clicked on this spider and you'll be able to see the window like this. So let me just click on open file. I've just now saved, right? Whatever I've downloaded it as, I have saved it, right? So let me go to your downloads package. Whatever I have downloaded, let me open it. Let me open it. See, basic stats August. Basic stats August Python file. Click on open. See, now whatever I've written, everything is written here. Data science basics, data science Python basics, August batch. A is equal to 1. So let me just delete all these things. Sorry, not there. Here. See, I'm going to A is equal to 1. Here your shift enter doesn't work. In your Spider notebook, your shift enter will never work. So what I'll do is I'll write CLS function and clear my console. CLS function and I'll clear my console by clicking on this button. To run in your Spider notebook, you should click on this button. See, run selection or current line F9. Either you can type it as F9 or you can use as this particular button. This button, or you can click on F9. So I'm going to assign 1 with respect to variable called as, see, either you can use Jupyter notebook or you can use Spider. It depends on you. Nobody will tell you to use Jupyter notebook. Nobody will tell you to use Spider. It is up to you. But why I showed you Jupyter notebook is when you see your Jupyter notebook, see, you can see the output then and there itself. You'll be able to see each and everything in the next cell itself. So that is the reason I've shown that. So now I'm assigning this A is equal to 1 variable. So I'm going to click on this button, or I can see once if I run A, it has been on your variable explorer window, A has been displayed. Now if I run this A, if I run this A, it will show. It will show as 1.
It is
Yeah,
like
it will be
same like
similar.
RStudio.
Yeah, it will be same like RStudio itself. But the thing is slightly syntax varies. That's it. And this is your A. I've written it. Now, whatever we have written in your Jupyter notebook, same thing. If I keep on running, it will start working. See here, B is equal to 2, B, C is equal to A plus B. Now, what is your answer for C? C is nothing but 3 because 2 plus 1 is 3. And it is 625. You got the answer. And import pandas as PD. Import numpy as NP. And this one, see, I have same path. Everything, whatever I've written in your Jupyter notebook, I'm just running each and every line. So you can see this data set, that is your X, is also been there. Now, if I click on, keep on going like this, you will be able to see whatever I've explained you. X dot head of 3. If I run this, I am going to see the output in your console window. It displays 3 records. It displays 3 records. Are you getting my point? Rakesh, Manju, Ratnesh, Rahul, Neha, Sanjay, Ram, Bharat, Bhupendra, Lahari, Megha.
What is the spider? Why is it used?
What? Spider.
Why using a spider Python?
Huh.
So it is used to just what do you say?
It is just another environment. That's it. It is just another environment to run your Python code. It is similar to your IDE like RStudio. Like in your R, you used to run it as RStudio, right? On RStudio, you used to run the programs, right? Here in Python, you can use it as Jupyter Notebook, PyTorch, PyCharm, PyLab. We have something else, and also Jupyter Spider. All these things are different versions of your environment or IDEs. That's it. Nothing else. Whatever we have written, you can keep on running here. X dot tail. Tail will display 5 records. So volume of mean value. It will display your median. It will display your median. It will display your mode. What is shortcut for running here? Shortcut is nothing but your F9. So if you just type it as F9, it keeps on running. Here, I'm running, typing it as F9. SP dot var, standard deviation. It is not like which one you are going to use. It is up to you, Ratnesh. Either you can use Jupyter Notebook or Spider Notebook. Either it is one and the same. Ultimately, it is up to you how you want to use it and what you want to use it. It's
Can we call
ultimately,
this as debugging tools, Yogesh?
huh?
Can we call this as debugging tools?
No, you cannot call it. See, it is not a debugging. What do you mean by debugging tool? This is nowhere a debugging tool. It is your point. This is another environment to type your algorithms. That's it. You can type it as your editor window. You can type it as your programs. You can save it as a .py extension. In your R, you used to save it as .r, right? Similar to that, if you type it in this version Spider, you need to save it as .py. And if you type it in Jupyter Notebook, you should save it as IPYNB, IPython Notebook. That's it. That is the difference. Nothing
Why I
else.
asked is normally these kind of tools will have a name, maybe compiler. I don't know. I mean, I'm not well versed with this, so I just
No.
asked.
This is just an IDE. This is just an IDE.
We have a
Yeah,
generic
you
name
can
for these.
debug, but what is the use of debug? Debug means what? Generally, what is debug is? What is
To
generally, what
find
do you mean by debug?
I mean, just like how you data discretely you dissect. So debugging tool helps you find out the information.
Yes, that is what. See, ultimately, it is just a editor window. You can call it as an editor window. IDE. That's it.
So, Yogesh, this is Sanjay here.
Yeah.
So with Jupyter Notebook, so whenever we are trying out something very simple and we want to see the output then and there, I think it will be a good option. But when we are working on a production environment where we have 1,000 lines of code,
Yes.
and
In
in
that
case
case,
if there,
Spider is better.
yeah, and in
That's the
case
difference.
something goes wrong and we are calling a web service or maybe something else and we are not sure what is happening, then we can use the debug functionality to see,
Yeah, that
what
is
is
what
wrong.
we can use. But generally, what we do is 60-40. You can tell it as 60% of the time we use Jupyter Notebook. You can just check
Okay.
it out in your companies as well. Whoever working as data scientists is 60% they will use a Jupyter Notebook, and 40% they will try to tell you that I'm going to use Spider.
Yeah, no, we trust it.
That, yep, that's it.
Thanks. Yep.
And Kumar, please be on mute. Kumar, Satish. Now, so this is how you can use your Python notebook, Jupyter notebook. It is one and the same. You can just keep on running F9. It will display whatever the outputs we have displayed in your skewness, kurtosses, your import matplot, histogram. See, histogram is been displayed. Bar plot will be displayed. Box plot will be displayed. Now, coming to your assignment part. Simple question I'd asked you, how do you identify, or what is the formula to calculate or identify outliers in this plot? Did you try? Apart from Sanjay, anyone else tried? Debanshu has tried. Okay. Please ping your answers on private chat. If it is assignment, it is yes, Q3 plus 1.5 into IQR. Okay. Lahari says it is okay. Q1 minus 1. Yeah, it is one and the same because you are identifying outliers on both the sides. What about Rakesh, Manjunath, Bharat? How about you guys? Satish, your answer? Ram, did you try? Murli? Murli, are you there? Bala, did you try the answer, Bala?
Yeah, I tried it.
Everyone are telling answer as yes, I tried same, yes, I tried same.
No. I tried with 1.5 into IDQ
Yes,
greater than
IQR.
Q3, right?
Yes.
Then that
Yes.
is in your upper outer layer. If you
Okay. So
1.5
simple
into
is
IDQ,
yes, 1.5 into IQR. That is
yeah,
your interquartile range.
yeah,
So this is your minimum. This is your minimum. So let me just take it as 25 as your Q1, 21 as your 25 as your Q1. So minus 25 minus 1.5 into IQR. So IQR, I'll take it as 75. So 75 minus 25 is nothing but your 50. 50 into 1.5. 50 into 1.5, how much it is? How much it is? How much it is? See, I'm
75.
asking you 25 minus 1.5 into IQR. So my IQR is 50. Okay, my IQR is 50 and my Q1 is 25. Q1 is 25 and my Q3 is 75. My minimum is 0. My maximum is 100. So now tell me, for your lower side outlier, how much it should be? Simple
Below
question.
minus
You
50.
should use
Below minus 50. Below minus 50.
minus 50. Is it correct? Is it correct, Ratnesh, Rakesh? See, 1.5. 1.5 into IQR is nothing but your 50. So it becomes 75. So 25 minus 75 is how much? It is minus 50. So if anything is less than minus 50, that is being considered as your outlier. And if it is with respect to plus 1.5, this is not your 75. This will be your Q3 plus 1.5 into IQR. So how much it would be for upper side outlier? It is 75 plus. Sanjay, answer it once again. Try once again.
82.5.
Hmm?
82.5.
82.5.
Greater than 150.
Greater than?
150.
Who is this?
Dipanshu.
Yes. So for upper side, it is Q3 plus 1.5, right? Q3 plus 1.5 into IQR. You should not try with upper side. You should not calculate from Q1. You should calculate from Q3. I told you Q3 is equal to 75. Okay. And Q1 is 25. Minimum is 0. Maximum is 100. I've just taken it as an example. That's it. Okay. Now, how much is Q3? Q3 is 75 plus 1.5 into IQR. IQR is 50. IQR is 50. So 1.5 into 50 is nothing but 75. So 75 plus 75 is nothing but 150. So if anything is greater than 150, that is called as your upper side outlier. Upper side outlier. So in order to calculate your outliers, it is Q3 plus 1.5 into interquartile range and Q1 minus 1.5 into IQR if you want to identify outlier for lower extreme. This is for lower extreme. This is for upper extreme. Upper side, lower side.
But my data points are 100.
Hmm?
Yogesh, my data points are till 100. How can we consider this as a 150?
See, I just took an example. I've
Okay,
just
okay.
taken an example as 100, and just for your interpretation part, I wrote it as 25, 75, and 100 and 0. I just took it as an example, not in your real time. So this is a
Okay.
problem with respect to your real time values.
Okay.
Yogesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of days back, when you gave this question, right, about this
Yes.
outlier thing, yeah, someone had mentioned about something related to some log, a formula.
Log formula, we generally don't use it in real time. We generally
Oh,
don't
because
use it in real time.
okay, that day you had
And this
mentioned, no,
is one
that's
of
a
the,
formula,
yeah.
so that's why.
Yeah, this is a generic formula what we use. Apart from this, I'll tell you as and how we go on, I'll tell you some other techniques as well to identify outliers. No worries on that part.
Is there any
Okay.
difference answer will get if I use log n 1 plus 3.3 into log n? Is there any difference answer? IQR?
See, the answer will be same. Ultimately, the
Oh,
answer will be slightly plus or minus 5 or the same answers. But the thing is,
okay.
again, you need to calculate log of some values. Again, you need to
Okay.
use calculation part for separately, right? So this is
Okay.
easier or that is easier. You should choose.
Okay.
See,
IQR is
always you
good.
should make. See, always you should make something in data analytics or business analytics. You should make something that should be explained in layman terms. Everyone should understand. Everyone should understand. Okay.
Yogesh, how
So
can I fix the frequency? Frequency.
what
I have 100.
frequency?
For in a box plate, we have 5 to 10, 10 to 15. Like that, if I have
No,
a
you
thousand
cannot
lines,
fix. You cannot fix in box plot.
not in box plate, in real time scenario, I have 1,000 lines. I need to show it in 5 frequencies or class intervals. What do you say? How can we fix that? I cannot take till 10 class intervals. I have to fix for 8 or something, 7. It has to be shown in an easy way.
I'm not getting your question itself. So with respect to you want to fix it as
Intervals. I
your
have 1,000 lines,
eh,
1,000 lines of data. I
okay.
need to interpret the data into 5 to 7 classes, class intervals, 5 to 10, 50 to 100, 150 to 200, like that. If I want to fix it for 7 or 8, how can I decide?
You mean to say that here? You mean to say I want to fix from 0 to 100, 100 to 125, 125
Yes.
to 250, 250 to
Mm.
500. You cannot
Yes.
fix it. You cannot fix it manually.
That's what. Is there any formula for it?
For
If I
box
have
plot, you
2,000
cannot
lines,
fix it. See, in your
not,
box
not
plot,
box
sorry,
plot. Yes.
in your box plot, you cannot do it.
Not in the box plot. In a real-time scenario, I need to
Yeah,
fix
in
it.
real time, see, if you want to do it in real time, either you can be there are some functions like you can plot it using your uh, histogram, I guess. You can use your
Yes.
histogram function, but I don't remember the exact code, but you can fix how many bins you want. For example, you
Yes.
told me that
The,
there are 1,000 records, right? So there are
yes.
1,000 records. So if you plot this, you might be getting multiple bins like this, multiple bins. You can set this multiple bin size as I want only 10 bins or 8 bins. So 8 bins will be, the records will be between 8 bins. It will be spread. You can do that.
Okay.
In
Is
real
there
time,
any
you can do
direct
it.
formula for it? Is there
I
any
think
direct
I have a
formula?
formula. Yeah, formula is nothing but simple. I think I don't remember the exact formula. That is, I've used only once in my this thing. I think you can plot it in using. Uh, okay, 1 second. Let me just write out. I'm not sure. I don't remember
Okay.
when I have used it. Bins equal to 12. So let me just try. Yes, bins is equal to 2. See, now I have specified it as 6 bins. You can specify the bin size, how many bins you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So out of 81 records, I have specified it as 4 bins. I'll get it as 4 bins. 4 bins. 1, 2, 3, 4 bins. But if you want to specifically specify which bin size you want with respect to this x-axis, also you can specify. Just you can do some research on that. Out of these 4 bins, what should be the values on your x-axis? That also you can set it. But that is not that easy. But again, you need to become an Python developer for that, because again, you need to write specific function for that, and you can write it.
So based on the bin declaration, the interval will adjust automatically the function.
Yes, automatically it will adjust. See, now I've specified it as let me put it as 8. See, I'm getting it. So let me just change, instead of HP, let me change it to volume. See here, for volume, I've set it instead of 88, I'll set it as 5. It will automatically split it. So this is all about your basics of your Python first moment, second moment, third moment, fourth moment, and also your bar plot, histogram, box plot. So from tomorrow again, we'll be starting a new topic, that is a Monday. So we'll be jumping into probability calculation. We'll be doing some hands-on, not hands-on, it will be with respect to your business case scenarios. I'll show you how to calculate some business case scenarios in your manual way. How do we need to analyze some manual answers? Business cases we'll take and we'll try to solve all those things, like your probability distribution, how to check your normality distribution, and what is it, each and everything we'll try to understand. So probably next week also will be almost, we'll be dealing with statistics itself. Clear?
Okay, yes,
And
thanks.
yes, probably tomorrow I'll be sharing you some assignments. If there is any assignments with respect to mean, median, mode, I'll try to share you by tomorrow. If not, again I'll be sharing it in the next session, because this mean, median, mode, it is of any normal data set you can take, and you can write this function called as mean, median, mode, bar, box plot, hist, skew, curt, all these things. Take some Excel sheet and you can prepare accordingly. Whatever you want, you can write it. You need not have to wait for my assignments only for these functions. For case studies, I'm going to give different case studies for that. Okay, thank you all. Thank you all, friends. Happy weekend. Good night.
Okay, thank you. Good night, Yogesh. Good night.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Yogesh.
Yogesh.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.